Bad Bunny is officially coming to London in June 2026. Yes, London. Not a club, not an arena, a stadium. And not just any stadium. As part of his Debutirar Mas Photos World Tour, the global Latin music superstar will perform at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium on June 27th and June 28th, 2026. 2 nights, back-to-back, same city. The second show was added because the first one triggered what can only be described as a collective meltdown. Tickets moved fast. Too fast. The kind of fast that makes you refresh your screen and question your internet connection, your bank balance, and your life choices all at once. And here's the part that should make everyone pause. These are currently the only confirmed UK tour dates. No Manchester, no Birmingham, no we'll add more later, just London, which immediately raises the question no one wants to ask out loud yet. Why only London? Because when something looks simple, it usually isn't. Shh, turn the volume up, but keep it low. This is rap's deepest secrets. The one place the labels can't control, exposing the codes, the cover-ups, the real cost of fame. Help us to monetization by subscribing. Now back to the video. But here's the thing, the announcement itself isn't the story. The way it happened, the timeline, the demand, the second date appearing almost immediately like the universe was already expecting it. That's where things start to get interesting. And a little suspicious, and honestly, a little bit beautiful in that specific way that only happens when something is too perfectly timed to be an accident. So let's talk about it. All of it, because this is not just a concert announcement. This is a moment, and moments like this have layers. Bad Bunny is confirmed to perform at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium on June 27th, 2026. That much is straightforward. What is less straightforward and significantly more telling is the fact that a second date, June 28th, was added almost immediately due to what organizers diplomatically described as overwhelming demand. Overwhelming demand, 2 words doing a lot of heavy lifting there. Because here's what overwhelming demand actually means in practice. It means that the first date sold in a way that sent the ticketing infrastructure into a quiet panic. It means that the number of people who wanted to be in that stadium on June 27th so dramatically exceeded the number of seats available that everyone involved, the promoters, the venue, the tour management, collectively looked at each other and said, "We are going to need another night." It means that the demand was not just high, it was undeniable in a way that left no room for hesitation. And these, importantly, are currently the only confirmed UK tour dates. Not London plus Manchester, not London plus Birmingham or Glasgow, just London. Just Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, just 2 nights at a venue that holds tens of thousands of people, and apparently still not enough seats for everyone who wanted in. That is not a regional tour. That is a statement. Tottenham Hotspur Stadium is not just a venue, it is one of the most architecturally significant and technically advanced stadiums in Europe. It was built with the specific capability of hosting major concerts and non-football events at the highest possible level. Sound systems, stage configurations, capacity, sightlines, everything about it is designed for exactly this moment. Choosing Tottenham for a 2-night residency is a deliberate choice that signals something very specific. This tour is coming to London to fill a mid-size arena and call it done. It is coming to plant a flag. It is coming to make a point about what Latin music looks like in 2026, which is to say, it looks exactly like this. Massive, unapologetic, sold out. The fact that a second date was added due to demand makes the choice of venue even more loaded, because if the first show was already at one of London's largest capacity venues and it still wasn't enough, what does that tell you about what Bad Bunny has built? It tells you that the audience is not just big, it is bigger than the infrastructure designed to contain it. If you've made it this far and you're not subscribed to the channel yet, this is the moment right here, because what's coming next is the part of this story that nobody is really talking about, and it reframes the entire London announcement in a way that should genuinely give everyone pause. Hit subscribe, hit the bell, and stay with this, because the twist is about to land and it changes everything. Here is what the timeline of this tour announcement quietly reveals if you pay attention to it. The De Nadie Tirar Más Fotos World Tour is named after an album that arrived not as a commercial calculation, but as a deeply personal artistic statement. The album was Bad Bunny's way of returning to something rooted, Puerto Rican music, Puerto Rican identity, Puerto Rican nostalgia, at a moment when he could have chased any trend in the global market and made a lot more commercially predictable choices. He didn't. He went inward. He made something specific and culturally anchored and refused to apologize for it. And the world responded by making it a global phenomenon anyway, because as has been established repeatedly throughout Bad Bunny's career, specificity travels. Authenticity doesn't need translation. So when that album becomes a world tour, and that world tour comes to London for 2 nights at a stadium built for moments exactly like this, you have to ask, what is the audience actually responding to? Is it the music? Absolutely. But it is also something underneath the music. It is the recognition of an artist who keeps refusing to be anything other than exactly what he is, in a cultural moment where that refusal is increasingly rare and increasingly valuable. People are not just buying tickets to a concert, they are buying into something. They are saying, with their money and their time and their willingness to stand in a stadium in London in June, that this matters to them, that this artist, this specific, unapologetically Puerto Rican, entirely Spanish language, genre-defying artist is worth showing up for. And the second date was added because the first date's demand made it impossible to argue otherwise. Here is what nobody is saying out loud about the London dates, and it needs to be said. Bad Bunny performing 2 nights at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in June 2026 is not just a tour stop, it is evidence of a shift that has been building for years and is now too large to ignore. Latin music, specifically Spanish-language Latin music that does not soften itself for English-speaking audiences, that does not translate its titles or sand down its cultural edges for palatability, is now filling the largest stadiums in one of the most historically, culturally gate-kept music markets in the world. London has always had a reputation for being discerning, for making artists earn it, for not simply accepting global hype at face value and demanding that artists actually connect with the city on its own terms. London audiences are not passive, they are opinionated and they are paying attention, and they are showing up for Bad Bunny in numbers that required a second stadium night. That is the twist. Not that a famous artist is going on tour. That is not a twist. That is Tuesday. The twist is that the cultural gatekeeping that has historically made it difficult for non-English language artists to break into certain markets at the highest level is quietly, undeniably, completely failing to hold. The gates are not just open, they have been removed, and the proof is 2 sold-out nights at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, June 27th and June 28th, 2026. For the fans who already knew, this is confirmation. The thing you have been feeling for years, the thing you have been trying to explain to people who dismissed it as a trend, it was never a trend. It was always a movement, and movements don't stop at one stadium night when they're this alive. For the people who are only now paying attention, welcome. You're not late, exactly, but you are arriving at a moment that has been building for a long time, and you are going to want to understand the context to fully appreciate what you're watching. For the music industry observers who track these things, this is data. 2 confirmed UK dates, both at a major stadium, second date added immediately due to demand. No other UK cities announced. The math on what that means for the cultural weight Bad Bunny currently carries in the European market is not complicated, it is simply significant. And for anyone who has been paying attention to this channel and following the ongoing story of what Bad Bunny is building, the movie, the billion streams, the Super Bowl, the presidential comment, and now this, London is not a standalone moment. It is another chapter, another data point, another piece of evidence that something genuinely historic is happening in real time, and most people are still underestimating it. Bad Bunny is coming to London, June 27th and June 28th, 2026. Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, 2 nights, overwhelming demand, currently the only confirmed UK dates. Comment London 2026 below if you're going, and if you're not going, comment why not, because honestly, that's an equally interesting conversation. And if this breakdown is the kind of thing you come here for, the context behind the headline, the story underneath the announcement, subscribe to the channel right now. Every major Bad Bunny moment gets this treatment here, and based on the trajectory of 2026, there are a lot more moments coming. Because with Benito, there is always more coming, and somehow it always lands exactly when it was supposed to.